In chess, there's nothing more satisfying than finding a brilliant piece sacrifice that just leaves your opponent helpless. And in today's video, I'll be showing you 5 brilliant piece sacrifice that just left my opponent helpless. And without further ado, let's get started. In this position, my opponent decided to kick my knight away, and they were expecting me to move the knight backward. But what do we know? Offense is the best defense, and instead of retreating my knight, I hop forward and I was daring my opponent, capture the knight if you will. So opponent decided to capture it, and that's a mistake. And then I capture here, and the idea is simple. I'm trying to deliver checkmate here on the next move. An opponent already calculated this, and they realized they could play a move like this, stop checkmate, and hit my queen. But that was not only the idea. The idea here is not only to deliver this checkmate here. And after my opponent plays this move, then I strike with the second idea behind just sacrificing the piece and bringing my queen here. In this position, the king can't move into the square thanks to my queen. White is forced to capture, and after white captures, I recapture with my queen, capture the knight, and I'm simply up 4 points of material, even though I sacrificed my knight earlier. And in this position, my opponent proceeded to play a move like this. And what do we do here? When you are up material, what do you want to do? You want to trade pieces, and I strike again with another brilliant piece sacrifice, and my opponent resigns. The idea behind this move is that if my opponent decides to capture here, I land this check, and on the next move I pick up the queen. I'm up 5 points of material and completely winning. In this second example, my opponent has 16.8 seconds on the clock and I have 55 seconds, and after thinking for about 30 seconds, I decided to sacrifice my bishop on this square. And what is the idea behind this move? The idea is straightforward. If opponent decides to capture here, well, then comes this check. The king is forced into this square, and after the king moves into this square, then I capture here with check, deflecting my opponent's queen into this square because the king is left with no legal move. And once my opponent captures here, then comes this beautiful checkmate. But after sacrificing the bishop here, instead of capturing here immediately, what if opponent captures here, and after this move decide to capture here? Well, it doesn't help my opponent because I can capture here with check. The king is forced into the square, and then comes this move. The idea is straightforward. I'm threatening to deliver checkmate here on the next move, and opponent is helpless, and opponent just cannot do anything about it. So going back, after opponent decided to capture here and I capture here, opponent realizing capturing this bishop is asking for too much trouble. So instead, they try to hide their king on a8. And in the game, I was left with 20 seconds. So I decided to capture here, which is completely winning for me. But the best move here would have been bishop to c7. What is the idea behind this move? Just interfere with the queen's vision of this square. And we are simply threatening to deliver checkmate here. And once my opponent plays this move, which is the only move to keep an eye on this square, after they play a move like this, then we capture here. We are simply opening up a discovered attack on the queen. If opponent decides to capture here, the queen is no longer defending this square, and we deliver checkmate here. And if opponent decides to capture here, we can simply capture here, and after the trade, we deliver this beautiful checkmate. In this next example, it was a high-level battle between me and a 2200 rated player. And in this position, opponent decided to offer a queen trade that is not easy to decline, because if I decide to play a move like this, I simply lose my rook. But instead of accepting the queen trade or simply moving my rook into some square like this, I decided to sacrifice the rook on b2. A rook sacrifice that can be accepted or ignored, but regardless of what black plays, regardless of what white plays here, I am left with a completely winning position. If I decide to capture here, I simply capture here, and after the trade, I capture here with check. I'm left with 2 pieces for a rook, and I also have an extra pawn, and I'm left with a completely winning position. And if opponent decided to capture here immediately, I simply capture here with check, and I just sacrifice my rook for 2 bishop. And after I move like this, I just capture here. I'm up 3 points of material, and I am left with a completely winning position. In this next example, I was playing a 2000 rated player in the community freestyle Friday, and in this position, I'm simply threatening to deliver checkmate here, but thanks to my opponent's queen, I cannot deliver checkmate here. So what do we do here? We sacrifice the bishop on h5. A bishop sacrifice that cannot be accepted, because if opponent decides to accept the sacrifice, we deliver checkmate here. And if opponent decides to block this way, we simply capture here. And after the trade, we simply capture here. And after opponent decides to move their queen away, we sacrifice the bishop on this square. A bishop sacrifice that has to be accepted this way, because whether black moves the king here or here, we are just going to infiltrate this way and deliver checkmate on the next move. And black cannot capture here because a check is coming from the bishop and a check is coming from our queen. So capturing here does not stop this check. So black is forced to either capture here or move into the square. But regardless of what black plays, we land a check here, and that is a beautiful checkmate. In the game, my opponent realizes pushing this pawn forward doesn't really do anything for them. So instead, he decided to move their queen to d7, and in this position I strike again with another brilliant piece sacrifice. Can you pause the video and let me know if you found it in the comment section? It is the brilliant bishop sacrifice on e8. A bishop sacrifice that can be accepted this way or this way. And regardless of how my opponent accept this bishop sacrifice, checkmate is coming in a few moves. If opponent decide to capture with the queen, well, that's even worse because I just delivered checkmate here on the next move. And if opponent decide to capture here, what do? We capture here with check. Notice something. If black decide to capture our rook, we deliver checkmate here on the next move. So black is forced to move into this square, but we are not done sacrificing. As we land another check here, forcing my opponent to capture this rook, then comes this beautiful checkmate. In this position, my opponent decided to strike with bishop to e5, hitting my knight here and also hitting my queen. And the idea behind this move is that if I simply move my queen away, they simply pick up my knight on the next move and I'll be left with a completely lost position. But in this position, I realized that I do not have to move the queen because I have a move like this, and that is just a brilliant queen sacrifice. And if my opponent captures here, I simply capture here, which is what happened in the game. And after my opponent moves their queen to any square, I simply capture here. And after the trade, I'm up 3 points of material and a completely winning position. In this position, I was playing with the white pieces. It was my turn to move again, and I strike with the brilliant bishop sacrifice on d5, a bishop sacrifice that can be accepted or ignored, but regardless of what my opponent plays here, opponent is in serious trouble. If opponent decides to capture this bishop, well, then come this check. The king is forced into one of these squares. If the king moves into this square, we simply land a check here, and on the next move we pick up this rook and we are left with a completely winning position. And if my opponent decides to play a move like this, well, we are not done sacrificing bishop. We have two bishop for a reason. The reason is to sacrifice them when you can, and we sacrifice the second bishop on c5. A bishop sacrifice that black just has to leave alone. This bishop sacrifice cannot be accepted because if black decides to capture the bishop now, then comes this check. The king is forced into this square, and then comes this beautiful checkmate. So after the second bishop sacrifice here, black is left with only one safe move. If black moves into this square, we have this check already. And if black decides to move into this square, we simply come in here. We are trading all kinds of discovered check here. The best move for black here is to strike with b5. We simply capture here with 1%. And after black trades, we simply capture here. And after all is said and done, we grab a full rook on the corner of the board and we are left with a completely winning position. In the game, after the bishop sacrifice, my opponent was so scared of the bishop sacrifice and opponent strikes with b5 immediately. I simply capture here. Opponent decided to recapture this way, hitting my queen and a bishop here, but I have this check. The king is forced into the square. Then comes this check. Black is forced to block the check with their rook. I simply captured here. And after my opponent plays this move, hitting my bishop, I simply capture here, trade everything. And after all is said and done, I was up 10 points of material and a completely winning position. If we're able to get this video to 100 likes, I'm going to make another video where I'll be on the receiving end of this brilliant piece sacrifices. If you have made it this far into the video, do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos like this.